This is part two, man. Me still underwater.
So with this girl, I would say that me and her were kind of like very similar. And I enjoyed being her friend, but me, I realized like I feel like the lesson between the friendship that I had with her was understanding when someone is not showing up for you. And like I said, I have no problems with anybody. I literally, girl, we're just telling stories at this point, you know what I mean? I realized that when it came to her, I was showing up for her. But whenever I was having a downtime, I was having a time where I need help, I need lifting, she was nowhere to be found. And so when things went down with me and Crush, she was there for the first portion and then she just disappeared. And she was nowhere to be found, not answering messages, anything. So to be living in a house with her, the whole situation, how it came about, was kind of weird to me, but I am a person that's just like, all right, it's whatever. Like, what happens, happens. Like, as long as I'm not in harm's way, what happens, happens. Get into this house. I really liked living in the house, paid rent every month, paid for my groceries, all that kind of stuff. I liked living in the house. I had my own bathroom. Me and Gideon had our own space. It's what, like 20 minutes off campus, like walking, so it wasn't bad at all. It had a bus coming and picking you up and take you to campus, taking you back. It had like a schedule, so that wasn't bad. I liked living there, especially with Shayna. Like, Shayna Bana, that is my grill. Like, me and Shayna, I feel like we'll always forever be like that. Like, I really have such a soft space for Shayna. So like, when junior year when junior year began, I had a goal on fixing my GPA. And girl, we just go make something rock. Like, we gonna get something together. So that is when I started my pizza job. So I would work from 6 in the morning to 9 making pizzas. And then I also had another job where I was assistant, and I would be in like the technology side of my school, like answering phones and transferring phone calls and stuff like that. So I would work that 11 to 4, and I would work those basically every single day. My 11 to 4 would kind of fluctuate throughout the week, like to different times and like all that, but both jobs I worked every single day. So I would do those jobs after I would go to my classes, and then after classes I would go straight to the library. I'm studying, I'm doing my work, I'm doing pre-reading, because at this point now I have changed my major to American Studies. So I have a lot of reading to do, a lot of writing to do, so I'm really on top of stuff like that. So that's what I was doing in the library. If you guys want like a study with me, because I am studying for my LSAT, so I could show you guys some of my studying habits of how I got to switch my mindset so I would get a different outcome. You get what I mean? Because I'm a girl, like, if I don't gotta read, I don't want to read. If I don't have to do work, I don't want to do work. Like, I would love to lay down. So I can show you guys how I get my mind so we can get the work done. Because one thing about me, I'm not no dummy. So I can really show you guys on that. So I would basically do that every single day. Wake up 6 something in the morning, 5 something in the morning, walk to work, do my job, take the bus back or walk back, get ready for class, go to work, stay at work, get out of work, go to a class, get out of there, go to the library, study, study, study. Sometimes to the point where the shuttle is done riding and I can't get a shuttle back to my house, so I would end up walking back to the house. I'll do that every single day. That's when I feel like I experience the ultimate amount of exhaustion that I've ever experienced, because it was to the point where like every day the same process has to happen, like whether I like it or not. So it was to a point where it was just mindless. Like, even though I was actually studying, like, but I feel like I wasn't there. I was there though. The downfall part, I feel like one thing with me in college, I would say, is that I didn't have a great balance. Like, I got what I wanted to get out of college and my college experience, but I should have balanced a lot more with working hard, not playing hard, but playing. You get what I mean? Because I don't really like games, I'm gonna be honest, but like, I gotta remember, you don't like to play games, but girl, play a little game. You know what I mean? I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Learning something from everything. Having a house in a townhouse taught me not everybody deserves to be inside of your house. not everybody deserves to be in your space. And I feel like I probably would have learned that earlier, but like growing in the household that I lived in, yes, I had people over my house, but most of the people that came over my house was family. And like most of us knew exactly how to act. Like sometimes you run up and down the house, that's different. But like doing some wild stuff, you would never do nothing wild, girl. You get beat, girl. Let's keep it a buck. But quick little story, I could go deeper into it another day, but quick little story, had this girl come over, a friend that I was making. She ended up bringing over another one of her friends. Girl, the friend is over my house, girl, drunk. I don't know if she's on something, girl. She starts spitting all over my floor, girl. Puddles of spit all over my floor, girl. The friend want to run out, don't want to clean up the spit, girl. It was a lot going on. So living in that house, even other situations, don't have everybody in your house. And it also told me when I get a place, it's gonna be my place. Like I cannot do roommates. I can't do roommates unless you're somebody that I knew for a long time. I cannot do roommates because I can't live like this. That's what I'm gonna say. We can talk about that another day, like I said. This will be very long. This will be very long. I entered off fall semester junior year on the details. All that hard work. But as this is happening, guys, my household is falling apart, guys. So the random girl, she had men coming over, leaving the door wide open, girl. She wasn't paying her rent, girl. So they ended up kicking her out. But before she got kicked out, girl, she beefing with one of the other girls. They beefing, girl, they beefing, girl. The girl ended up getting kicked out, girl. While she gets kicked out, she keeps breaking in the house, jumping through windows, breaking in the house. Like, I would be leaving the house 6 o'clock in the morning. Girl, I'm like, why the kitchen look destroyed? Like, what is going on? Mind you, because we cleaning up. Why is this kitchen destroyed, girl? She's sleeping in the broom closet, like, in the supply closet. She's sleeping in there. Like, it would be crazy. Like, one day you wake up, girl, butt naked too. But one day you wake up, girl, next thing you know, you look in the supply closet, girl, she not in there, but she put all her stuff in there. Like, it was just a lot going on. I ended up getting fired from my assistant job. This was, oh my gosh, I forgot to say this. But I ended up getting fired from my assistant job, girl. I feel like I got fired because I wasn't telling my business. I don't know. Let me know if I should file a lawsuit, but I ended up getting fired because I wasn't telling my business. My boss telling me how she gay and all this kind of stuff. I don't have a problem with you being gay, but why are you telling me that you're gay? Like, that don't got nothing to do with me. Like, I don't care if you're gay. And she was just showing me pictures of her wife. He telling me how she gay. Another girl I work with was telling me how she was doing drugs and doing coke, and how she messed up her nose doing coke. And one of the other guys, like, he wasn't my boss, but like, he was in a higher position. He talked about how he used to do coke and how he was doing coke in college, and that's how he was staying skinny, and that's why he big now, because he don't do no coke no more. I was just like, okay, I shut up the whole time. They bring me in. I was supposed to work a certain shift, but when I looked at the calendar, it told me something different. So when you went into work, you would text in the group chat here when you start your shift and bye when you're ending your shift. I came in, I typed in here, and nobody said nothing to me. Mind you, I'm thinking I'm working a certain shift. So when I finished the shift that I thought I was working, I said bye. I left. Probably like 30 minutes to an hour went by. My boss texted me talking about where you going. Your shift's not done yet. I'm like, what are you talking about? My shift's not done yet. She sends me my shift. And I told her, oh, my bad. And I sent her the screenshot that I saw of a different time. She was like, all right, can you get back? I'm like, girl, I'm not even on campus no more. Girl, they fired me from there. Talking about, she fired me off of that, because that's crazy. That's one time, but okay. She fired me off of that, talking about, also, you be talking on the phone. Baby, I be talking out loud. I be talking to myself. What if I have mental health issues? So you're firing me for speaking to myself? That's not crazy? So I can't speak to myself, but y'all can talk about doing coke and being gay? I don't get it, but okay. To me, getting fired from there, I needed a way to make some money for my bills. So I started taking more hair appointments, and I did get a few more hours working at the pizza place. So that's how I was getting my money. And when it came to this portion, this is when I was applying for classes for senior year, okay? So this is now fall semester. I'm applying for classes for senior year, and my account had a hold on it. My account had a hold on it. So if you have a hold on your account, you won't be able to apply for classes. So that's when I ended up having to clear out my savings to pay. It was like how much was it? yeah, it was like $2,000. It was like $2,000, close to $3,000 that I had to pay off. So I'd be able to apply for classes because, especially in senior year, there are certain classes that you have to take, and certain classes are not for the next semester. So you have to be on it when you're applying for your classes to make sure you don't miss out on it. Because when I tell you, I may not have the money. I may not want to have the money to take it out of my savings right now, but I definitely don't have the money to do a whole nother semester of college. Like, that wasn't even a question or a thought. It was too late in the semester to like get a good loan or scholarship because, one, there wasn't any money, and two, there's no real time to apply for stuff like that, you know? So that was something that like I really had to bite. And I feel like for me personally, once it got to this portion of college, that's when I started feeling like a lot of resent and a lot of anger, especially when it came to like my finances, because it felt like, yes, college was for me and like achieving what I want to achieve, but like I feel like college is something that's also pushed a lot, and I feel like if it's pushed so deeply, you should get greater assistance when it comes to that. And I feel like I didn't get as much assistance as I needed financially when it came to college, and I feel like a really big burden was placed on me. So like, yes, I make jokes about like, oh, I'm Jamaican, I like to have multiple streams of income, I like to make money, stuff like that. But like, I was working so many jobs and doing so many things on top of being a student, and it's like, girl, it felt like I was drowning. Like, I was drowning. Like, I told you guys, it got to a point where I was mindlessly doing stuff. Like, even when I was sad, like, when I tell you, at this point, too, like, I was not really eating like that either. Like, I would eat, but not... Girl, I don't know. I'm surprised I existed. Let's just be honest. Like, I was just so overstimulated that, like, after the hours of studying, after a long day I had, I would literally get back to my room, the place that I paid rent for, girl, and go lay under my bed, like on the floor, and cry and go to sleep. That's literally how I ended my night. And that would happen like a few times. Like, it was kind of depressing, honestly. Like, I feel like that is something that people don't talk about when it comes to college. It's always, oh, we're partying, we're having fun, we're partying, we're having fun. Girl, I was having trials and tribulations. Tribulations, like, it was a very trying time for me, honestly. But on the other hand, on the flip hand, it did also show me how strong I am and how scrappy and how dedicated I am and can be as a person. Guys, don't ever envy somebody because you don't know what they're going through. Girl could be fighting all types of things and you will never know, okay? Because some people are really good with the poker face, but don't ever envy people. Just focus on your life and bettering yourself. So as I started winding down of my last year of college, I really wanted to focus on my blackness. That is something that I had an issue with. I'm a first gen. I've always been told multiple times by multiple people, familiar and outside, oh, you're so whitewashed, or oh, you like music like that, you like to listen to white people music, or stuff like that. I was a longboarder, skateboarder. I like all types of music, like, you know what I mean? So that is something that I've always had a problem with, because it's like, girl, am I not Jamaican enough? Like, am I not black enough? Like, you get what I mean? So I really wanted to take black focused classes so I can redefine my identity that has been taken from me, basically. I wanted to redefine who I am and the little different fallacies and the little different subsections that I belong to, you know? So I can have a greater understanding of myself. Something that I decided to do, and I'm so happy that I did that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying names or whatever, we're just gonna talk about experiences. So those classes were very, very reading heavy. I had taken a black writers class. That was an amazing experience. That was a very, very great experience. It put me onto really great books. I really recommend Eraser and I recommend Invisible Man. Those two books are really great. Especially Eraser. No, especially Eraser. I would say especially Eraser. So that, I took Black Power, the Black Power movement class. I took a slavery class. I took a blaxploitation class. I really loved that class. Like, And I tell you, that was like one of my favorite classes because I like breaking things down. That's another reason why I'm in law. I love breaking things down. I love to see the little nits and pits that go into things, because what a lot of people fail to realize is that everything is subliminal messaging, down to colors, is to move certain emotions, down to lines, figures, shadowing, even the most poor things, even the most downright quality things. They're all trying to do something and derive certain kind of pathos, ethos, something from you. So I love those classes. I took those classes, and I now started meeting professors that like cared about the work that they were doing, professors that cared about the messages that they were bringing out. And when I tell you, that was like such a refreshing feeling, and I was so happy that I was able to get that piece of college, because I feel like that is what I was lacking the whole time, was that kind of community feeling, you know, and that feeling like you're not alone. And when I was learning about different kind of black movement powers, different black activists, different black different black aberration, when I tell y'all, my tongue is fake, so I can't say certain words, but it solidified in my mind that, for one, I'm a very powerful force, but two, black is no monolith. Whether you're Caribbean black, Afro-Caribbean black, whether you're African-American black, whether you're African black, there is no monolith on who you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to show up in this world. You are exactly you. Phenotypically, I'm something. I'm a whole spirit. I'm an entity. I'm a, you know what I mean? Well, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. But I don't have to show up as a certain type of person, because that's not who I am. I am me. I am sane. So that is something that I really love that I took from that whole experience in learning about blackness and having those specific professors. But that leads into my senior year. I ended up going back on campus for my senior year because, girl, I needed some money. Like, I need to be able to save some money, and I couldn't save money when I was paying rent. So I ended up coming back on campus as an RA, and I was working in the international building. Guys, I'm so sorry that y'all was zoomed in. I don't know how long y'all was zoomed in, but we won't keep it in. I'm gonna take in whatever I could take out, but I'm so sorry. But let's continue on. So now we are into senior year of college. Like I said, I started senior year, had to take out my savings to pay for my classes, and I moved back on campus. I'm an RA. Ended up being an RA on the all-girls floor in Hart Hall. I loved working in Hart Hall. Not really, like, I didn't have a problem with my hall director. Not really. Like, there were certain things that she would do that was piss me off, but we can talk about that in another conversation. But like, overall, I didn't have a horrible time working for her. My coworkers, they were cutesy. Like, they was cutesy. I made some really close friends there, but I didn't have a bad time working there. I worked on the all-girls floor. My girls was very tea. Like, I miss them. I miss leaving them little cute comments, them leaving me really cute comments. Like, I really liked that. I really enjoyed that, and I was so happy that I got the girls floor, because I feel like if it was a boys floor, I don't know, like, it would just be messy again. Like, I just can't deal with the messiness. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and I don't mean messy as in dirty. I ended off my full semester dean's list again. You already know I do it to them. You know I do it to them. Senior year began. I started to really put my foot into my art, and I started to really build my name as St. Lazarus, as in putting my artwork on canvases, because for a long time I would only put my artwork in my sketchbook, and I would take pictures of it and post it, but I feel like, I don't know, I didn't really have anything to put on the canvas. But one day, I'm gonna be honest, like, it was like my brain just opened, and I had a landscape, and I had a background and a backdrop that I really wanted to display. So that's when I started putting stuff on canvas, and that's when I started to work on my hell depiction. And when I tell you, I feel it's up here, but I just feel, I don't know why I feel emotional just talking about it, but I just feel so proud of myself. Like, when I tell you guys, like, my art means so much to me. Like, it I'm gonna have a whole separate conversation about my art and like just the meaning behind it and stuff, because there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to my art and like it being super dark and it being super demonic, and that is not even close to what my work is. The setting may be demonic, but the subject matter is not. um but yeah, when I tell you, it's a whole nother healing, like. And that's why I said I'm so happy about my time in college, because without it, like, I've always done art, yes, but being in college and being forced in a certain mindset, like, it'll be explained more as more stories I tell you guys. A lot of pent up energy, pent up tension, pent up frustrations that I had inside. My art helped me release that. So I started getting more into being St. Lazarus, getting more into my art, getting more into sharing my art as well, because it was something that for a long time I kept to myself. Like, not a lot of people know that I did art, you know? So that's how we're starting off senior year. We're starting off very strong. I'm gonna be honest. So something that I learned in senior year, one of the biggest lessons that I learned was how to put my foot down. I would say in the earlier parts of my life, I was very sweet, like a pushover. And then I went from being very, very sweet to being a very angry, mean person that will like not do anything for anybody, that doesn't even want to hear that you even need help. Girl, I wouldn't say I would push an old lady in the street, but the street and the old lady's right there. Let's just say that, you know what I mean? So I this whole time in my whole college experience, I wrap it up as saying I went through a whole metamorphosis. So to become another version of yourself, you have to deconstruct certain things that you were doing, you know what I mean? To create new habits, and not only create new habits, but understand who you truly are. Because one thing about life, and I learned this through my race and minorities class, she used it in a different context, but this is all the same thing. It's weathering. You come in as a certain person. I was a super, super sweet person, right? I am a super sweet person. Well, I'm a sweet person, not super. I don't know about that part no more. But I was a super sweet person, and that person got weathered. Life started happening. You're realizing that you can't be super sweet to everybody. You're realizing that, you know what I mean? It's so much is hitting you, and it weathers you. It breaks you apart, and you end up getting rougher because you're getting chipped away, you know? You end up getting some points, some spiky points. And that was me. So once I got to see my senior year of college, I'm now at a point where I want that balance, you know what I mean? But with that balance, you have to know that yes, you can move sweet, you can move in your light, because that's what I was doing. I was moving in my light. I move in my light, and I move with, I want to help others, but I will never take from myself and lower myself to help somebody else. I will never do that. But with my excess, I can help you. You get what I mean? So I had to learn how to put my foot down. And I can tell you guys a situation. I was working with this professor, and I ended up being this professor's TA. And this professor was having an event, and they wanted me to make an art piece for them. And I was like, yeah, sure, I would love to make an art piece. They were telling me that they would showcase my art piece and I'll be able to discuss it. I really wanted to push my art, so I ended up working on this art piece. I'm contacting this professor, and they're not really getting back to me, so I'm kind of like a little iffy on working on it, because it was such a short time period. And also at that time, I was working on my Peace Earl sweatshirt and to bring it to his concert, so I had a time limit. The professor ends up getting in contact with me like probably 3 days before the event, and they end up telling me like, hey, you can make the piece, but instead of you being able to platform it, it's going to be in a corner under a light. And as soon as I heard that, like, some people, they would still do it, but for me, I live by a certain rule, and that's another rule I also found while being in college, is not everything is for you to do it. You know what I mean? Even if it's something that you had interest in or can give you something at the end, doesn't mean you should do it. Even when hair appointments, don't take an appointment from everybody. Just because it's some money that you can make doesn't mean it's an opportunity that you should have. Period point. So when I listened to what he said, all I could hear in my mind is, you're gonna do all of this work, you're gonna put in all this work, and who's gonna see it? So I told him, no, I'm okay. Because for one, I didn't even have the time for it. So if I were to make time for it and to crunch it, and do a great job and see no back end, it's like, for what? So I said no. And like, he low key like flipped out. Like, he flipped out on me because nobody tells him no. That's what he ended up telling me. Like, oh, nobody tells me no. Who do you think you are? Girl, I'm me. Like, girl, like, I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know. Like, girl, I don't know if you want me to do the Beyonce Beautiful Liars dance, but I'm not lying. Like, I'm not doing it. And it made me so happy when he said that, because it forced in my mind, yeah, baby, you are not just like everybody else. And even down to the same professor, when I end up finishing 2 parts of my health depiction, I end up showing it to this professor, and they wanted to buy it off of me. And I told them, I was like, hey, like, no, it's not for sale. And they were like throwing money, like prices at me. And like, when I tell you, the prices were ridiculous for the amount of work that is in my pieces. And I told them, I was like, yeah, no, like, even if I was to sell it, I would never even sell it for that little of a price. And they told me, oh, what you think? Who do you think you are, Basquiat? Like, who do you think you are? And when I tell you, that was like so disrespectful to me, but then also it enforced in my mind, you are doing the right thing. And at the time when I first met this professor, I thought that I held them at a high regard, but as I got to understand who the person was, I took them for who they were. Let's just say that. Like I said, I don't have any ill feelings towards this professor, but when you step away from a whole situation, you're able to view it in a different way. And you're able to see, like, okay, this wasn't a good situation. This person wasn't as good of a person as I thought they were. I did gain from the situation, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, how much? But speaking of that, another thing that I want to talk about is growing into your looks. Oh my goodness. So from freshman year to senior year, I got beautiful, girl. I got beautiful. Like I said, this was my metamorphosis period. Like, it was my becoming a butterfly period. And I grew into my looks. I got tea. My booty got bigger because I have no butt, girl. I didn't have no butt. All high school, I had no butt, girl. Flat as a board, girl. Flat as a panjack, a hamjack, flapjack. So I really did grow in my look. So I am able to clearly see life through both ways, be a not so tea and be a tea, and how you're treated. And I've seen this so much during my senior year, because I feel like that's when my looks really, like, you know what I mean, came in. And when I tell you, it was like, it has such positives and has such negatives. So I was able to see both perspectives. And I feel like for me, it was like, when it comes to pretty privilege, it was like, you do get more chances, you do get opportunities, and people will look at you more and like take more from you. But at the same time, it's like, it feels like you can't bring anything to the table. I feel like before I grew into my looks, there was more conversations being had, like, oh, what do you mean by this? What kind of points are you trying to get from this? Da da da. But once looks came into play, that didn't matter anymore. Like, you could just say something and then people would be like, oh yeah, cool. Like, no, like, can you ask me some further questions? Can you ask me some lead up? Like, that is a problem that I was starting to have. And it was like, that is what pushed me for, I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place with senior year, but that's what would push me overall for senior year to do my capstone so, like, out of the box. Because you could do a capstone class, but I decided to do a 2-parter independent capstone. I did an art piece, I'll put the art piece up here, and I did a writing portion. And my overall capstone was called The Curse of the Black Ham, the evolution of the African into the African American presented today. And I wrote a 45-page paper, and I did an art piece. And I did all of that just because I was feeling that way, that even when it came up to doing my capstone, I had an option just to do an art piece and a little like 10-page paper and go about my business. And I feel like to me, I would have gotten the same grade regardless, but I feel like to me it wasn't a that didn't show anything. It's hard for me to explain. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying, but it's like I didn't have to do much. Like if I didn't want to do much, I didn't have to do much. And I feel like it was such a slap in my face because I'm such an intelligent person. So it's like to have my looks be the only thing that matter when it's about academics was very like spit in my face. Okay? So I feel like when we're talking about the whole looks department, if you want to rely on your looks, you most definitely can, especially college. Like you will get away with it, you will get good grades because that's literally exactly how it is. I'm telling you exactly how it is. But if you are a smart person and you want to be seen for your smarts, it hurts and it sucks. Also learn just being a woman in general, whether you're beautiful or not. Oopsie, some people are not cute conventionally, but we all have our, you know what I mean, we all have our quirks. But being a woman in general, I learned in college you will be sexualized. Like whether you want it or not, you will be sexualized. And like I said, it sucks, but it does come in handy sometimes. We're gonna be honest. So that is something that I learned from college. Doesn't matter how talented you are, doesn't matter how smart you are, it's just something that's gonna happen. And all I would say is, for me personally, once I realized that, I started saying no more, and I started being more strict with how I approach certain things and how I talk to certain people and how I wield some of my privilege. You get what I mean? It's like, no, you will not speak to me like that. You get what I mean? Like, it's something like that. You have to take that into account. Yeah, that is something that I really did struggle with my senior year of college, was like the over sexualization of myself from people of a higher position than me. And it got to points where I was so uncomfortable. It got to points where it was like, do other people hear like what is going on and like what is being said? Like, am I tripping, or like is this actually happening? And also senior year, I almost got kidnapped by this white couple. Quick story. I had went out to this ice cream place that is by campus on the side of Onondaga, and the ice cream shop was not open, but it was like seating areas outside, and it has like, you can see the lake and all that kind of stuff. So I was sitting by there, I had like my tripod set up, I had my canvas, I was gonna do some work, I was gonna do some art, and I'm drawing, doing my time lapse, and this pickup truck comes, and as they're coming past me, they're like staring at me, the girl and the guy, the couple, they're both staring at me. So I'm like, all right, this is kind of weird. And they park at a parking spot that's like close to me, as close as they can get to me, and they're like staring at me, and then they would talk to each other for a little bit, and then they'll stare at me, and then they'll talk to each other. Like, they were doing that for 10 minutes, guys. And probably like, I don't know, probably like 4 minutes in, I end up FaceTiming my friend Kayla, and I was like, hey, like, I explained to her like what I just said to y'all, like, this is so weird. She's like, yeah, that is very weird, like, I don't know what they're doing. So they were doing that for a while, and they end up driving off. As they drive off, something in my mind tells me, girl, get up, pack your stuff up, and leave. So I pack my stuff up, and I'm leaving. Mind you, they led this way, and I'm going this way to go back on campus. To get back around where I am, you have to drive all around, go through campus to come back around to where I was, okay? Just to let you guys know how things are set up. Girl, why am I walking? I'm probably like 2 minutes into walking back to campus. It's probably, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes walk from campus to get to like not main campus, but closer to main campus. It's like 15 minutes. No, to get back to Onondaga, it's probably like 15 minutes. So I'm 4 minutes into the walk, and girl, the car comes back, and as they come back, both of them are staring at me as they pass me. Girl, I was thinking they were trying to kidnap me. Let me know what you think. Do you think the couple was trying to kidnap me? I ended up telling this professor about that story, girl, talking about how they wanted to have a three-way with me. Girl, that's when I knew he was just a freaky frog. Like, he was just a freaky frog. For me, overall, going to college is something that I truly needed. I needed to get out of my living environment. I need to get out of my familiar environment. And I feel like for me, it was just like, if I didn't go away, especially, it was like I knew that my brain would not develop. I wouldn't get to a place where I needed to be socially, emotionally, mentally. I wouldn't be who I am now if I did not go away. And if I didn't get the tools that I got in college, therapy, meeting certain people, experiencing certain things. Because some things was just like, with the stuff with my roommate, stuff with the 32-year-old white woman, stuff with Christian Global, my advisor, she's a chemistry advisor, but my advisor when I was a biochem major, stuff with that professor, me having to take a big financial burden when it came to school, me having financial insecurities at some points when it came to paying for school and loans. I feel like I had to go through all those processes just because it helped me develop not only my thought patterns that I have now, but my patience with myself, my patience with other people, but also a way of knowing how to direct people and get what I need to get out of a situation. So I say that's really my whole big thing with college, and it's also just balancing, being more calm. Because before I was not calm, guys. Like, girl, like I tell you, I'm surprised I was functioning in life. You get what I mean? Having a business in college, I 100% recommend it. Making money, and honestly do it to a point where you can take it out of college, because depending on where your school is, you can keep that clientele and then build up on that. And yeah, make your money. It is 2025. There's so many different ways to make money. You can do hair, make content of you doing hair, and make money that way and that way. You get what I mean? So yeah, if I had to rate my college experience, I give my college experience a 7.4 out of 10. I got everything that I need to get out of it, but it wasn't a great time, to be honest. Like, I had great moments, but it was, I would say it was a lot of trauma. Like, it was a traumatic experience, I'm gonna be honest. I wanted to take you guys on my whole journey of college, but to be honest, I feel like that was a journey that I had to take alone, because there was so much that I had to learn about myself. Like, so it'd be like too much to show you guys and try to take you guys along if, girl, I don't even know what's going on. But I do want to take you guys along with my journey of law school, because that's a great big chapter, you know what I mean? And I really want to have that documented. But yeah, I don't regret going to college. I can't wait to graduate again and experience that. My graduation experience, that was not fun. I say traumatic, it was just a sad experience. Like, I was extremely sad during my graduation, minus the ceremony itself, because I was sitting with my gorilla Johnny and we was having a time. Like, he made me extremely happy. But the overall experience of graduation was not a great experience for me either, and that kind of like reinstated for me like how traumatic college was. But overall, I'm so proud of myself. I accomplished so many things that I dreamt of as a little kid. I pat myself on the back for experiencing college and getting through college. Do I recommend SUNY Oswego? I do recommend the school. I feel like every experience is different. This was just my experience. Would I go back and do the whole experience over again? Like, if I had to start over at 18, I would do it all over again, honestly. I wouldn't change anything about it. It was what I needed at the time, and it served exactly its purpose. Every person that came into my life served their exact purpose. That's why I have no bad intentions for them. Girl, can I tell y'all a little tea though before I end this video? Can I tell y'all a little tea? Why the crush? So you remember when I told you that the crush, I had wrote the 4-page letter and gave everything back? Girl, why the crush ended up hitting me up months after? Remember how I told you he was trying to, oh, I left this over there, I left that. Months later, he hits me up, right? And it's always when you happy. It's always, it's always when you happy in life. He ends up hitting me up, talking about, oh, I'm doing a photo shoot, and I want to use the rose. I'm gonna use the rose petals that you gave me back at the photo shoot and the letter that she wrote me. I was like, yo, why he still wanna play my, why can't you leave me alone? Why can't you leave me alone? But anyways, thank you City Boys so much for watching this video. If you guys have any questions when it comes to anything that I talked about and you want me to talk deeper into it, please let me know in the comments below. Guys, use the comments. use the comments. Okay? Use the comments. Because we're here. We're here. We're keying. Did I not make you laugh? Did I not make you giggle at least once? Let me know. Don't lie now. Don't lie because all these people looking. I did make you giggle at least one time, did I not? So make sure you like. Make sure you comment. And make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to be a city boy. It's T to be a city boy. Look at me. I'm T. Wait. Am I not? Like, come on. You want to be a city boy. You want to be a city boy. Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe to be a city boy. Bye, city boys. Gift of life. Rest in peace to Teddy Pendergrass.